Want this flow edit intro? Okay, I'm going to show you how to make my intro transition from my recent flow edit. What you need are both of your images, and one clip that's going to fade in. You can pre-compose each of them. Then, we're going to start with an in transition. For this, we need S_warp puddle. We're going to set the frequency to 1.3, this one all the way up. And then set the amplitude to -0.04. And then back to 0. I can just copy my graph over. Then we're going to add warp puddle again for this transition. Again, set the frequency to 1.3. This all the way up. And the amplitude from 0 to -0.04. And then back to 0. You can just copy my graphs. Just like that. Then we're going to add a fade in transition. Set the brightness to 1, put the keyframe at the end, and then bring it back down to 0. I'll make this a bit longer. Okay, now we can add a hotspot transition for the middle. For this, we're going to use S_hotspot. Set the threshold from 0 to 0.5, and then back to 0. Also set the exposure from 0 to 1.3, and then back to 0. Use the same graphs. It still looks a little too flat though, so we're going to add a null object first. Then we're going to parent both of these to the null object. Set the scale to 200. Then, in the middle, set it to 200, and then bring it back down to around 180, or even 170. Then, just copy this graph. And don't worry about these black edges. You can just add motion tile like that. If it's not centered anymore, you can go in and adjust the image a bit. First, we're going to add an overlay for a light leak. We're going to set this to add. After here, set the opacity to 100 and then bring it back down to 0. If you don't like how subtle this one is, you can just turn it up a bit. Also, for this side, we're going to add an adjustment layer and add directional blur. Keep it at 90. Set the blur amount to around 16, and then bring it back to 0. Now, to make it sound even better, we can add another whoosh effect. We can set the volume to around -70. You can adjust the level if needed. Then duplicate it. After that, we're going to focus on the transition. For that, we can pre-compose both of them. We're going to add opacity and set that to 0. Then, we're going to add a gradient wipe transition, going from 0 to 100. For this, we're also going to adjust the scale. Go down a bit, go to the next point, and then bring it back to 100. Add motion tile. Then go back into this comp and zoom out a bit. You can leave it like that because we're still zoomed in from here. We're still going to add motion tile. And now, for the rest, you can kind of leave this as an option. But I used it, so we're going to pre-compose this. For the last 4 frames, we're going to use the roto brush. And I just went around the body like this. Then we leave this one and come to here. And for the last one, we're just going to draw around the whole head. What I like to add at the end for my next transition is an offset. And that's kind of it already. If you still have any questions or requests for future tutorials, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.